Okay, my friends, we're back again with another Northland unit here. I've had this up on the bench for about a week now, and the customer sent it to me and said that there was a company that came in and put a line tap valve on it. It wasn't cooling, so they put refrigerant in here with leak sealer, which is a no-no on a capillary tube system. So I've been checking it out, and when it's running, the capillary line from here to here is frosting up, which means there's a restriction in there and it's got a pressure drop, and that's why it's freezing. So, and I can tell when I release the nitrogen, I could smell that leak sealer. It smells like bubble gum. That's one problem. So we bought a new heat exchanger, which is right here. I do have a video that shows how to replace this, but I'm going to replace, in case you need to know the part number here, it's S32187-000. I'm checking for leaks. Now I pressurized it with 250 psi nitrogen, and it's not holding. In a day, it's down 100 pounds. So we have a leak somewhere, and I've checked it with both a sniffer with the refrigerant in the system and ultrasound, and I cannot find the leak. So, that being said, we know we have a bad heat exchanger on here. We're going to replace the heat exchanger, and because I don't think the heat exchanger is leaking. I don't see any corrosion or anything like that. So that's the project. Okay, so as I was saying, we're losing pressure. Yesterday I charged it at 250 psi. It was 74 degrees in here. At 2:30 p.m. I came in yesterday morning, and the pressure was down to around 200. And then this morning it was down to 150. So we're losing pressure, and like I said, I cannot find the leak, and I've tried everything, bubbles and all the tricks for finding leaks. Now it's possible, I've had this happen before, that it could be my gauge, my hose, or something like that. That's happened to me before, but not normally. So I have to change the heat exchanger anyway. Let's do that, and then we'll go from there. If worst case scenario, we'll have to isolate the evaporator from the rest of the system and pressurize that and see if that holds, because I'm not even sure if these evaporators are available anymore. Okay, so that's the project. Let's get started. Okay, so I put a new heat exchanger in there. Okay, so now I got my nitrogen tank hooked up. I'm going to check for leaks. I've got to get about 250 in there. Let that balance out. Alright, so we're going to get our soap bubbles here. Now, like I said before, I do have a video on my channel that shows you how to change this heat exchanger. I didn't want to have a double. And check everything else while we got it pressurized. Oh, check the dryer too. You never know. Alright, that all looks good. So let that sit for a while. I'll clean up a little bit. Wait a minute, we're down to 47. Something wrong here. I can hear the nitrogen going into the evaporator. Before I put this back together, I'm going to use my ultrasound and just double check it. But this is a fairly new machine, and it looks really pretty good shape. me open up the low side too. All right, looks like we're out of balance there, 265. Double check. All right, I think we're good here. All right, 262, it's balanced out. Let that settle in. We'll clean up and see if the pressure holds. We are back. We got a little pressure drop here. Was that 250 or 260? It's going down. But I used my ultrasound. I found the leak. It's in a really bad spot. Let me see if I can give you a clue here. There, see it? There it is. It's probably from vibrating over the years. That's a good sign that we found it. The key question right now is, how are we going to get in there to repair it? Because the joint's here, so that means it's leaking from this. It's probably rubbing against this aluminum bracketry here. So we're going to have to peel away some of this fins to get to that place where we can really actually see where the leak is. Because if I attempt to weld it or solder it, it's going to melt all this aluminum. All right, well, that's good that we found it. I can tell the customer that we were halfway there, but that's it for now. I'm going to tackle this at another day. I'm off to Portugal. See you next week. Hey, my friends, I am back. Just got back from vacation this afternoon. I wanted to tackle this project before I got started on anything else, and I just wanted to let you know that this machine has a freon leak. I'm pressurizing it right now with nitrogen, and I want you to see what I did here. So I peeled away some of the aluminum fins a little bit, okay, so I can get to this leak, and I use a little soap bubbles here to pinpoint the leak. And if you watch that bubble forming right there, that, my friends, is a really slow leak. Look. So it probably just wore out from the vibration hitting the aluminum frame that holds this whole thing together. But I don't know if you can see that, but let me get a pointer here. The bubble is forming right here, so watch what happens when I pop it. See? This is the leak right there. There's a little groove in that in that copper tubing that's causing that leak. There's the bubble again. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the nitrogen out. We're going to heat this up, and we're going to braze that closed and check it. And if that's all good, then we can finish this project up. Right, so I cleaned it up a little bit with the wire brush. You can see the crack. It's like a crack, or it's at the end of this brazing mark right here where it meets the copper tubing. It's leaking underneath there in that area right there. So
I'm going to try doing this with a number 3 tip. I don't think it's going to work because the heat's going to dissipate quickly because of the aluminum fins in the aluminum. That's what this is for. It dissipates cold and heat. Anyway, we're going to try it with the number 3 tip. And we're using flat copper silver brazing rod, AWS A 5.8. It's 5% silver, 1/8, 14 inches in length. So let me get my torch and let's see if this is going to work. Otherwise, the only other tip I have is a 5 right here. And believe it or not, that's going to destroy something up there. It's just too much heat. So let's try our luck here. Okay, let me put some flux on there. Not enough heat. Okay, got to try the number 5. Okay, that looks good. Let's let that cool down. Then we'll pressurize it and see where we're at. All right, we have 285 psi. I'm going to now check. That was 100 more than we had before. It looks like we got it. All right, we're very lucky because usually when you get that close to the aluminum, things start to melt. However, we pointed our torch away from the evaporator fins and the aluminum, so that helped a little bit. Of course, we could have always unsweat this, but I mean, look, it works now, it's fixed. All we need to do now is get this evaporator back in and start putting this thing back together. All right. Okay, I'm also going to check ultrasound just to make sure. Good. Perfect. All right. Let's put it back together. Okay, my friends, we are back with this Northland. I apologize I skipped a couple of video sessions here, but I got it up and running. I fixed the leak in the evaporator. It was running. It was pulling down to -5 degrees in my little contraption here, this little cubby hole. And it was working fine. But it was making noise. The valve was rattling in there. Even after I pulled a vacuum on it, I ran the compressor with no refrigerant in it, and the valve was just so noisy. So I recharged and put the proper amount of refrigerant in. It started working. It was holding, prior to that, it was holding 280 psi overnight. I assume there's no leaks. But the compressor was noisy, and this I didn't know before. So I contacted the customer and I told him that it's working fine. It's pulling down to temperature, but it's noisy. And he told me to go ahead and change the compressor while it's here in the shop. That makes good sense. So I putting in here, just getting this ready, this Embraco. This is a FF 7.5. It's a 5th horsepower, which is what this calls for. The compressor that was in here is a Tecumseh, and it cross-referenced that over to a 5th horsepower. Anyway, we're going to prep this up, get this ready to be put in, and button this thing up again for a second time. Okay, going to be an update on this now. I just put the new compressor in there. I have it pressurized with nitrogen, 286, 285. I'm going to let this sit overnight and make sure there are no leaks. Tomorrow I will drain the nitrogen, recharge it, 7 ounces of 134A, check the temperature, then button it up and send it back home. Well, thanks for watching another video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. Thank you.